Data analytics is one of the key success factors in today's business environment. A boss would have had some information stored on a database, hire someone to analyze it, and from this they could get actionable information to better meet customer needs and make some money. However, recently we've seen the emergence of big data. And simply put, big data is data in volumes too great to process using traditional methods. This data is arising from our online activities and in particular social media. As we collect more and more of this data, our data analysts can't cope and we're not getting the actionable information we need. But all is not lost as new tools and techniques are emerging to overcome this problem and get more actionable information than ever. One of the most important advancements in this area is machine learning. And in this video, we'll be looking at what it is, how it works, and different ways it's being used today. So what is machine learning? Well, to understand machine learning, let's look at our own learning first. What do you see here? It's a table, right? Of course it's a table. You've seen enough tables in your lifetime to know a table when you see one. Some legs, a board on top, that's a table. What about now? Well, clearly that's still a table, albeit a red one. You've learned that this is a table even though you've probably never seen this one before, and you'll be able to tell me when you see a table no matter how many different ones I show you. You see, when we experience something, we remember important data about it, and also create criteria as to what makes it what it is. That way, when we see this thing again, or something similar, we can better identify it. The more thing we see, the better our criteria becomes for identifying that thing in any of its shapes or forms. This is called generalization, and it's how we can learn something and apply it. And so, machine learning is about getting a machine to learn in a similar way to how we learn, so using generalization, so that it may perform better in the future based on what was experienced in the past. Now we'll look at how it works. So there are two main types of machine learning. Supervised learning, which deals with predicting class labels from attributes, so identifying something, and unsupervised learning, which tries to discover structure in data through clustering, similar to data mining. Looking specifically at how supervised learning works, we provide the machine with training data, and from this it will extract the defining criteria known as feature vectors. We provide labels to the machine also, and with this information, the machine learning algorithm is made. When we provide the machine with new data, it can determine the feature vector, and using a predictive model, it generates the expected label or classification. With unsupervised learning, a similar process is followed. What makes this different is the removal of the supervision element of labels, and as a result, instead of generating the expected label, we see that the data is grouped into clusters based on the similar criteria. This makes the process particularly useful in exploring data. Both supervised learning and unsupervised learning can come together though to form semi-supervised learning, helping to improve the predictive performance. Finally, if a user provides the machine with corrections or feedback, this is known as reinforcement learning, and this can improve the performance going forward.
So let's now look at some different types of algorithms and their application in business. First up, the predictive analysis algorithm. This algorithm is used to analyse current and historical facts to make predictions about the future. For example, airline companies have analysed demand for certain routes over a number of years and are then able to set the lowest possible prices at which they can still sell tickets and make a profit. They can then allocate a number of seats at these ticket prices which would have otherwise gone unsold. Next up, the classification algorithm. This is another form of predictive analysis. Here, variables with known values are used to predict future values of other variables. For example, insurance companies have been able to detect and predict fraudulent claims by classifying and grouping characteristics of previous claims which were found to be fraudulent. The clustering algorithm. This involves grouping a set of objects or data in the same group or cluster which are more similar to each other than those in other groups. This method of data mining is used by market researchers to partition the general population of consumers into market segments and understand relationships between groups of consumers. This allows marketers to achieve a more detailed market segmentation, more effective product placement, and more effective selection of test markets. Finally, association learning. This allows us to discover interesting relationships between variables in large databases. It is used in point-of-sale analysis systems in supermarkets. Associations are made between items which are commonly purchased together, for example, burger meat and onions. This has led to better decision-making with regard to promotional pricing and product placement. These are just some of the many examples of how machine learning has enhanced and improved business processes today, and machine learning will only improve and become more sophisticated in the future.
Created using Powtoon.